What's good, Willie B Pod? Back. You thought we left, and we came back. Every Wednesday, man. I'm not leaving you guys hanging, ever. I'm here. What's up? Hope you guys are doing well. It's a nice rainy day here in Los Angeles. We don't get a lot of these, and it's nice. It's nice, man. Switches up the vibe a little bit. Makes you feel like we got seasons. Rain is nice when you're inside. If you're outside doing shit, too wet, don't like it. On the inside, let it rip. I like it. Those are my rain thoughts. And shout out to you guys, man. Last week's episode was the dare I say, one of the most highest viewed episodes yet. Especially since we've changed to this new format. That is the most views. That was almost double the amount of views I usually get on YouTube. So that was fucking awesome. Really made me excited. Really made me feel like this is resonating. Feel like people are into it. It's growing a little bit, and that really excites me. So please continue to subscribe to the pod. Share the pod. If you know people who would appreciate what this show is and what I'm putting out, send it to them. Let them know about it. And it just really fired me up. Really made me want to lean more into this podcast and kind of enjoy it a little bit more. You know, you enjoy things when they're successful. So I know I got a long way to go, but that made me really happy. So let's do the administrative stuff up top, man. The plan is that all my tour dates are going to go on sale next week. End of next week, to be specific. End of the month was my plan to announce the tour dates. Still waiting on a few more cities to be confirmed with my agent. But right now, I will be launching. If I were to launch today, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cities to announce from April until September. That's pretty cool. A lot of those are weekends. So excited, man. So that'll come end of next week. So I probably will still say the same thing on the podcast next week, but just wanted to talk about that. As well as I did a thing where I told a story about making those tour posters when I ran out of merch, right? And I sold signed tour posters. I had a few of them left over. So yesterday on Instagram, I put up a post basically saying hey, I'm putting these on sale. If you want to buy a tour poster, click the link. And I sold most of them, but I have 3 left. And this is what they look like. Sorry if there's a glare on the lighting. I can't really see what this looks like, so I'm just going to kind of hopefully pivot it a little bit so you guys can see if you're watching. That's the poster. I have 3 of them left, so I'm going to put the link of that in the description of the video. So if you want to buy them, I literally have 3. So if you want to do it, first come, first serve. There may be a chance that someone will have already bought one by now, so I may have 2, whatever. The point is that I'll keep it updated with how many I have left, and just want to give you guys the last call. Since you're my people, if you want to get a tour poster from last year, if you came to a show and you wanted to kind of have a memento of it, there you go. And I can also customize each one. Put your name on it, write a little note. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's all the administrative stuff I got. We got to talk about the whole Netflix Fest show from last week, man. Long story short, the show sold out in 3 hours. Yeah. So now let's take it back. So the show went on sale the day I was recording the podcast of last week, and it was on sale while I was doing the recording, right? And the way the Improv, which is the venue, the ticketing system works is that on the page, if there's less than 10 tickets left, you can see that information on the page. So if you refresh the page and it says less than 10 tickets left, you know that you're on the verge of a sellout. So I knew going into it that the second I see that thing pop up, we're good. And let me take it even further deep into the story. So full transparency, I knew it was going to sell out. I just didn't know when. It's 55 seats. I was like, this should sell out. It's a Friday night, easy to commit to. I know I have a lot of fans in LA, but you just don't know how long, right? And so I'll give you guys some exclusive information. I'm also adding another LA show. That's going to be in April. Not going to tell you when yet, but point of that saying is that I didn't want to be promoting 2 LA shows at once, if that makes sense. So I didn't want to have on my tour poster that I'm putting out, April whatever for this LA show, and then the Netflix show is May 3rd, and you have to kind of pick which one you want to go to. It just creates a little bit of confusion and friction. And so my goal was that I needed the Netflix show to be on sale and sell out by the time I announced the bigger LA show that I'm doing. Does that make sense? So I'd kind of about a 2-week period for the Netflix show to sell out. And to be completely honest, I didn't really know how it was going to go. I haven't had an opportunity to sell tickets to something in months. So, you know, and my clips haven't been going crazy viral. And there's some moments in this game where you kind of, you know, and I'm talking about me, I kind of doubt myself a little bit. Part of me thinks, you know, there's a fear baked into this whole experience of like, do people still care? Am I still relevant? Can I still sell tickets? And so when that show went on sale, I was like, look, this could sell out by the end of the day. This could sell out in 2 weeks, 5 days. I have no idea. I just needed to sell out within a 2-week period, right? So I announced it and I was really excited about it. And I did the podcast and I'm like, hey, show's up finally. I get done with the podcast and I hit refresh on the page. I see the less than 10 tickets thing show up. And I think I exclaimed out loud, holy shit, right? Because then I knew, oh, we're good. Even though it wasn't sold out yet, the fact that I knew there was less than 10 left, I was this big like wave of, I want to say, what's the word? It's almost like confidence and also relief. And even the guy I know who's helping book the festival, who I was connected with at Netflix. I went and got coffee with him a while ago. I forget if I talked about it on this podcast, but we connected up and we met each other. We really hit it off. He was really excited about what I was doing. He loves my reps, you know, my agent and my manager. So it was all like a really good connection. And he was, you know, he helped me get the show at the Netflix Fest. So he actually texted me right after the podcast and I saw that thing come up and he said, you're selling like crazy. Love to see it. And then sure enough, about 30 minutes later, the show was sold out. Before the podcast was even published, the show had sold out. So I did this whole thing on here like, hey, you know, tickets are on sale, click the link, and it's gone. Never did I expect that. The fact that it sold out in 3 hours was like the absolute best case scenario. It was amazing. It was a high that I haven't experienced in a while, honestly. Just because of what I needed to happen, and then it happened so perfectly. It was beautiful. And look, man, let's be real for a second. So that at the Hollywood Improv, they put up a listing of, I'd say, my show as well as, let's say, I think it's like 3 weeks of shows. At least 2 weeks of shows. I don't want to look right now because it'll take too long to look it up. But the point is that let's say 2 weeks of shows every night in the lab and the main room. I'm doing the lab, which is the smaller venue, the 55-seater, and then the main room, that's about a 200-seater. So they put up shows every night. So let's call it 14 shows. I think it was more. But the point is that my show sold out quicker than any of them, and it wasn't close. And I'm not trying to come on here and brag. I'm just keeping it real. That was the statistic. Mine sold out, like it wasn't even close. And that felt even better. And at the end of the day, the Josh guy from Netflix, his name's Josh, whatever. I don't think that's secret information. He actually texted my manager and was like, Will sold more tickets than both the rooms. Between both the rooms, he sold the most tickets. The main room, the smaller room, he sold the most. And it was amazing, man. It really was made me like, it was a reminder that I still got this. And I know to you guys, you may be thinking like, well, no shit, you got this, man. You have plenty of fans. The tour went great. But again, you just don't really know, man. Sometimes you worry about your relevancy in this. So it felt great, man. And, you know, it's interesting. It's, you know, I for these shows, you know, I was technically, you know, underestimated a little bit. Look, let's give you the full behind the scenes picture. My agent was trying to get me the main room. Was trying to get me the 200-seat venue or option. And whoever the powers that be, and were understandably a little skeptical. I think they were like, I don't know who exactly made the decision, but I think they were a little bit like, oh, we're not sure if we feel super confident about him getting the bigger room versus some of the other acts that are a little more proven. So we're going to give him the smaller room and let's see what happens. And it's a decision that I understood. It's not like I'm like, well, I can't believe they think I'm not good enough to. I'm like, that's the business, bro. I'm a new arrival in the big leagues, so I understand it. But the fact that they gave me the opportunity and I blew it out was such an even better feeling because I was kind of underestimated. And I still, you know, I showed up. I showed them what I can do. It was a really good feeling. And there was much more than 14 shows. There must have been there was 30 shows or something. So, and I sold the most. Look, man, this is the behind the scenes offer. This is the behind the scenes look, man. So I just want to give you guys that was the full story on that, and it was amazing, and I can't wait for the show. And again, if you live in LA and you're listening to this and you didn't get a chance to get tickets, totally fine. We have another show coming, and if you want to come to both shows, that's cool too. You'll see the act will be pretty similar, at that point, but the crowd work will always be new. You never know what's going to happen. And it'll be a different type of show, a 50-seat show versus, let's say a 200-seat show. It's a bit of a different experience. So anyways, that's the scoop on that, man. And still waiting on some offers for places. It's so interesting when I get these offers in for comedy clubs, right? Or tour dates. Let's call them just tour dates instead of offers. I know them as that. It literally is just in the form of an email from my agent, basically being like, here you go, with just dates and the city and what the money's going to look like. And it's the reason I'm telling this because I don't think I've ever brought this up. I maybe have, but it's just an interesting system to where I'm so attached to my Gmail app and the notifications that come up is literally and I don't know when they're coming. I don't know what the dates are going to be. I just have a general idea of certain cities that we're working on, and it'll just out of nowhere, boom, boom, done. Tour date here now, confirmed. I'm like, oh shit. But it's really made me so attached to my phone though. Oh my god, and I never have my phone on loud. It's always on vibrate. Keep your phone on vibrate, by the way. If you're out in public, especially, come on. But point being is that every time I think I hear a vibration, I'm like, huh, is it? It's where it's like it's getting these tour dates. It's so fulfilling and it's my dream. So that vibration is like my dreams coming true. so if I hear that shit, I'm like a lemur. I'm like, what's that? Was that offer? Was it a tour date? What's that? Even I'll hear the phantom vibrations. You feel that if your phone's in your pocket, you'll be like, did my phone just vibrate? Dude, it's a whole thing. And I'm not super proud of that. I want to be able to be more relaxed. But hey, man, like I said, I just got to the big leagues. So let me live, bro. Let me live these moments. It's so exciting. Speaking of sighting, man. Speaking of sighting, that's what I just said. Speaking of sighted, this is so excited. I got something else I never really talked about is I got a kind of a fairly big audition. And a lot of people always ask me, like, are you trying to do the acting stuff? And the answer is yes. That was my kind of original dream when I was a kid. I wanted to be an actor and I wanted to be a director. Those were my dreams when I was a kid. And, the older I got, the more I realized that, the acting world can be, it's so much out of your control. I made the choice to, instead of basically going to theater school, I went to film school instead because I figured if I went to theater school, learned acting, most of my life would be just like waiting tables and bartending, waiting for auditions to come in. And so I just didn't like the idea of that life. So I decided to go to film school and study cinema production so I could actually potentially have a job within the filmmaking that's not just me waiting around for auditions and opportunities, right? I can actually be on set, practicing my craft, meeting people, things like that. And then when I started working on a few like student films and stuff in college, I realized I was like, bro, I don't want to be doing this either. This is arguably worse. Being on a movie set is so boring. And it's not glamorous, especially when you start at the bottom, the open mic level of a film set. You're like a PA and you're just sitting around or getting coffees or carrying boxes, running errands. It's like not fun. And that's what you have to do. That's what I bet all the great filmmakers have done that. But I was like not into it. I was like, this isn't really how I want to spend my life. Waking up at God knows what time, 6 a.m., working for 12 hours. It's just, it's really important to do those experiences to realize that you don't really want to do them. And so when I was in school, I decided, I'm going to try doing some improv classes. I went to Second City in Chicago and I took a bunch of improv classes and I leaned into doing improv and also learned that I didn't really want to do that either. The idea of improv was tough for me. I think the collaborative effort of it was just like not my vibe. It was a thing of like, you work off of everybody else, but if everyone else is like not up to par and doing well, it kind of drags you down too. So it's out of your control a little bit. And same with acting. Acting is so out of your control. Even if you're the best actor, you may not succeed because you don't have the right look. But if you do stand up and you're the funniest comedian and you kill the hardest, you will be successful. That's a fact, right? Especially nowadays with the internet, it's like you're that good, you will be discovered. Jerry Seinfeld had a quote like that. He said something like, not verbatim, but it's essentially like if you're that good of a comedian, you will be successful. But the hard part is being that good. And so when I started stand-up, I think I liked it so much because I had so much control and I could do it every night and I could live during the day, do what I want to do, work a job, support myself, and then have my nights reserved for stand-up. So I say all that to say is that it's been a continuing process of figuring out where exactly I want to land in this business. And so I get auditions in sometimes. I have a commercial agent who sends me commercial auditions, which I audition for, fairly often. Without caring too much about it, you kind of just do it and forget about it, and you're like, I've come close to getting a few things. I booked one thing a while ago, and it's like a background thing, you do just because it's a good idea to have on your, in your arsenal. And you never know, dude. You can get a big commercial and get a bag. So, but anyways, I got this audition in, and it's kind of like a big TV show. It's a show that's gonna be on Peacock, and it's like you look at these are the types of auditions that I would like to get. And, you look at the description and it's like, oh, shoots in for 4 months in Vancouver. It's like, whoa. You look at the money and it's like, whoa. But then it got me realistically thinking about it. Like, whoa, can I realistically picture myself moving from LA, living in Canada for 4 months, shooting this show, not doing stand-up, not going on tour, being away from Kaylee, being away from my life, like, could I do that? And my first instinct was no. I don't really want to do that. I'd have to cancel tour dates. I'd have to really just uproot my life, be away from stand-up for 4 months sounds like that's something I've never done before. Sounds really scary, to be honest. Even though it's not that long of a time, to me, I've never taken more than a few weeks off. So, I had to really think about, like, do I even want to pursue this opportunity? Because if I get it, I'm on the fence if I would go. And I told that to my manager who sent me the audition. And he was like, he definitely understood it because he knows how stand-up's my priority right now. But he was like, hey, still do the tape, submit the tape. Because, you basically do a lot of these auditions, you just do in your living room. You just film yourself doing the scene and then you send that in, which is so easy and nice. He was like, do it, send it in. It's good for them to see you. Still a long shot of getting it, so you should just do it anyways. So I'm gonna do it. But man, I was kind of faced with like, what if I did get something like this? What would I do? So I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about that. Comment what you think would be, if you have any thoughts on that, because I'm still kind of figuring out where I would land on it. Because I still want to do acting work, and I think it'd be different if it was like, oh, hey, you're gonna be one of the co-leads of the next season of The Bear. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll drop everything. Let's go. But, for some sort of new show, you just don't really know. And I don't know, man. Would love to hear your thoughts if you guys have any, but those are just something that's going on last week that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Speaking of movies, I got another movie review for you guys. Boom. I saw a comment someone left on the video that said, like, came here for the behind-the-scenes stand-up and stayed for the movie reviews. I thought that was really cool. Shout out to you guys commenting, by the way. I really appreciate you guys commenting on the video. It helps it a lot. I finally watched Killers of the Flower Moon. Finally. I got 2 more Best Picture nominees to watch, and that was the third one I needed to watch. Giving myself the Oscar deadline. March 10th is my deadline to finish all the Best Pictures. I'm almost done. Killers of the Flower Moon. Watched it. Liked it. Don't know if I loved it. First thoughts right off the bat. Number 1, I thought the performances were fantastic. DiCaprio, to me, is a sure bet. I think he's my favorite actor. I don't think I've seen him in something I didn't love. He rocks. He always rocks. Scorsese's my, top 2 favorite director next to David Fincher. Love Scorsese movies. Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street, Departed, all-time favorites for me. The story itself was very important to tell, important to know. I didn't know this story about what this Native American Osage tribe. I'm sorry if that's the wrong word. I'm purely naive. I apologize if that's the wrong wording, but it's an important story to tell because the history and the horrendous things that they went through, it's really important for people to know. And so I'm glad I watched it just to learn about this horrible tragedy that happened that not a lot of people talk about. But man, look, man, it's way too fucking long, okay? The movie's 3 hours and 26 minutes. It's just insane. And what I did is I knew I had to watch it, and I decided to commit an afternoon and an evening to just watch it. And I don't want to go to the theaters because I don't want to be there for 4 hours. I'd rather be in my own home. I can go to the bathroom. I can pause it, right? So I did that, and dude, it was like, it took me 4 hours to finish it. I watched the whole thing. I didn't all in one day, and it was fucking exhausting. I started it at like 5:30, and I finished it at like 9:30. Yeah, and it was like exhausting. The movie was really good, and I thought it kept my attention the entire time. I was never bored. The pacing was fantastic. It was quick, but not too quick, like Oppenheimer. The pacing of Oppenheimer is insane. It was so fast that you couldn't understand what the fuck was going on. This movie, the pacing was nice, but man, I did not enjoy the experience of sitting there for 4 hours. It made me feel lazy. It made me feel unaccomplished. It made me feel like I'm the whale. Shout out to Brendan Fraser. Didn't feel good. And I don't understand this whole idea of movies being this long. It's like short form content is never more in demand, and movies are longer than ever. I have a joke about this in my act. Movies are too long. Scorsese's other movie, The Irishman, another pretty good movie. I like this one more, but it's like 4 hours long. Who the fuck is enjoying a movie for that long? It's insane. Movies should be 2 hours. 2 hours. I think an hour and a half is plenty of time to tell a story. Hour 45, sure. 2 hours, cool. 2 hours should be the max. Do you guys agree? Again, comment. Let me know, because I can't do more than 2 hours is too much. It takes too much time. I just don't enjoy the process of it. But overall, I liked the movie a lot. I would give it an 8 out of 10. But I tell you what, man, I'm borderline 7 out of 10. I'm gonna maybe give it like a 7.8 out of 10. Because had this movie been an hour and 50 minutes, it would have been like, could be a 9. Could be 8.5. I'm going 7.8 out of 10. Important movie to watch, and it's going to take you a week and a half to finish it. Moving on here, just going to tackle all sorts of stuff this week instead of just going through stand-up updates. I want to give just kind of random life stuff that's going on, right? Speaking of being a lazy piece of shit, I got a really cool and interesting DM from someone. If you again, life advice still open for business. If you want to DM the podcast page on Instagram, any life advice questions. Still haven't heard from any follow-ups from the guy with the weird friend. Hopefully things are okay there. Anyways, I got a cool question here, which if you guys want to send in questions, by all means, send them. This dude says, hey man, I just want to say that I really enjoy your approach of taking us behind the scenes of stand-up. Thank you. I also love how relatable you are. One topic I'd love to hear on the podcast is your workout routine and tips on staying active despite a busy schedule. Thanks, and more power to you, man. Appreciate it. Workout routine, good one, man. Because you're right. I normally, especially with the touring and stuff, it's like, what kind of time do I have to work out? And what I will share about it, and I'm not the workout expert, but I do work out, and I enjoy the process of working out. I treat working out I treat it like I have to. Not should I work out today? I want to work out today. It's I have to work out today. And that leaves no room for I'll do it tomorrow, or it's a have to. I have to eat, I have to drink water, and I have to work out today. And that's helped me personally. A couple things have helped me is and I want to shout out this book called Atomic Habits. I don't know if you guys have heard of it before, but one thing, it's all about how to create better habits in yourself. And something that I took from it is to help you start and stick with a habit, you have to, quote, make it fun. How I'm going to relate to working out is I got a new pair of workout shoes, shout out Hoka's, and all of a sudden I found myself wanting to go on runs. And I'm never a guy who goes on runs. My dad goes on runs almost every day. He's in unbelievable shape. Still can't get myself to do it. But I got those shoes, and all of a sudden I was like, I want to use these shoes. Let's go run, dude. I have this new excitement. I have this new comfort on my feet. Let's go run, man. So that's a habit that makes the process, this habit, fun for me. It makes me want to do it. And what I did is I joined a new gym at the beginning of the year, or before, a couple months ago. I joined a new gym, and it's close to my home. It's not crowded. It's a bit of a private gym, so it's kind of empty. It's not super cheap, but it's not Equinox expensive, and it made me want to go to the gym more because I liked going there. I had all the machines, I feel like I'm out. I'm being a productive member of society. Because you can do the at-home workouts. We all learned that during COVID. But I don't like doing it because it feels like it's hard to get myself motivated. But if I leave the house and I have a place to go to that I enjoy, it helps me lock down the habit. And in terms of the workouts, I basically will always I force myself to do more cardio. What I'll do is I'll do about 20 minutes on like the steepest incline on the treadmill at like a 2.8 speed, like a 15 incline, 2.8 speed. I kind of maybe go up and down if I'm getting too, my calves are blasting too hard. And I'll do that for like 20 minutes. I'll try to burn like 200 calories, ideally more. 250 is better if I can do a little running at the end of it. And then I'll rotate, and then I'll go do upper body workouts. I'll do one day of a push, you do chest and triceps. And then another day I'll do pull, which is the biceps and back. And then one day I'll try to do legs and abs. That's my plan. I kind of have that 3-day rotation starting with cardio, and then I do those workouts, and I kind of just cycle through that. I'll take a day or two off, and then I'll go run it back, do the three different workouts I have. And, maybe I'm sure there's another better way to do this, but this is how I've always done things, and that's what I like to do. So that's my workout routine, honestly. And but again, I eat very healthy, but I also don't eat like amazingly healthy, so I try to stay working out. So that's my workout routine. Leave some comments though if you have any more ideas, or if you what helps you get motivated to work out, so we can help homeboy get more into it. And let's talk stand up. A couple interesting shows last week. I did one show where I did essentially a bar show where it was like in a taco restaurant, and you're just in the corner of a room doing stand up. And long story short, it was kind of a mess. There was about 10 people who were just kind of scattered around listening to the show, and it was kind of a good vibe. And my buddy who was running the show told me, "Oh, we got this big party showing up. There's like a group of 20 people showing up for the show." And I was like, cool. Sure enough, they showed up. And I'm not joking. It was like 20 17-year-old girls. They supposedly were in college, but they looked like they were 12. And maybe that's just me getting older. But I was like, this is what girls in college look like now? They look like they're 10 years old. And turns out they weren't here for the show. There was some sort of Taco Tuesday night where they went out probably with their fake IDs and were drinking some Coronas, getting loose, having fun. But it was where the show was. And so it was just this, there was like 10 people who were there for the show, and then like 20 girls who were just having a party. And there was one comic on stage, female, and then me. And she was kind of like roasting them. She was kind of making fun of them a little bit. And I was watching them like, dude, I can't do that. Get up there and start making fun of and fucking with a group of 15-year-old girls? I can just see the articles. TikTok comedian Will Buckrat disrespects young women at shows in quotes. So I was up there. So when I got up there, I was like, I'm not going to go in on them. And I don't have the energy to either. I'm just here to mess around with some new jokes and go back home. So I get up there, and first minute, to be honest, I'm killing. First minute was great. I'm making the people who are here for the show laugh. I'm making the girls laugh. It was like the vibe was great. And then 20 more girls walked in. And the way the setup was I was here, and the door was to my left, and people behind you would be walking in and walking past you. So right after that minute where I was killing, a group of 20 girls walked in, and we're all like, oh my God, oh my God. The girls they were like, oh my God. So now I'm just standing there with a microphone, and it's just chaos. At one point, I just put the mic down and was like, no idea what to do. And I was like, I have one of two options. Number one, I do my set to these 10 people who are very attentive and nice people. Or I try to get this whole clan of young girls to stop what they're doing, stop with their one night a week they can use their fake IDs in the place that doesn't check it to have a great night, get them all to pay attention and shut up and listen to me. And a lot of comics would go number two, because that makes you almost a real one. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get this room on my side. And man, I didn't have the energy. I didn't give a fuck about trying to get them all to pay attention. It was too much work. The attention span of whatever they were, 17-year-old girls, you gotta keep it coming. You gotta be like TikTok up there. You lose them for 8 seconds, you've lost them. And I know that. And I didn't want to deal with this shit. So I simply leaned up against a post right here, leaned up, and just did some jokes for the 10 people. Were these girls talking during it? Oh, yeah. But I didn't care. I said, you know what? I'm going to do some stand-up for you guys, and then that's it. And I didn't do that well. I was like, it was just a steady decline until I got off, and I said, okay, that's it. Goodbye. Didn't have the energy. Should I have gone for it? Maybe. But I didn't have the energy to. I'd come back from that Arizona trip, and I was just like, dude, whatever. Fucking, I don't need this. I'm going back home. Friday night, I did a show at Ha, my old stomping grounds, my old club, and supposed to do a 5-minute set. And on my buddy Jack Jr., who was who's the son of the owners, he was doing a sold out show there, and I was going to do 5 minutes on the show. I showed up, and he was like, and this show was a really good lesson in adaptability. He was basically like, yeah, just do 15. And I was like, oh shit, okay. So I had to kind of sit there and quickly rework my whole set, rework my whole thing to be able to do a 15-minute set. And the guy from Netflix I know was there. So now I have to completely change my set, and also, this kind of important figure is watching. And I've dealt with that in my life before. High stakes thing. I mean, the Netflix showcase audition thing I talked about, that's a high stakes thing. He was there for that. And it's these moments where it's like you can't fold under the pressure. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. So I had to, again, know there was pressure and change up my whole set. And it's a sold out show. And I did great. I did really, really, really well. And I followed one of my favorite comedians, Amir K. Few people make me laugh more than him. He crushes. And I had to follow him. So that's another added layer of this. I have to follow one of my favorites, sold out, 15 minutes. Again, newly known 15 minutes, and the Netflix guys there. Great exercise for me. I did awesome. Very happy with how I did. I stayed in the pocket. I stayed calm. I stayed cool. I did great. And I felt awesome about that. So I just want to come here and talk about that and talk about just, pat myself on the back a little bit, because that was not an easy set. And I like that I'm continuing to be comfortable in high stakes situations. Next night, I did 3 shows at the Comedy Magic Club, which was awesome. And I had I talked about tags last week. I think I did last week, where it's like you have the punchline and then you have boom, boom, a couple more laughs after that. Those are called the tags. Put a new tag in an old joke. I tried it a few times and it was working, I think it works. I was still a little unknown. And I tried it at the Comedy Magic Club in the main room, sold out. It was like, almost 300 people there. And dude, it ate it. It fell so flat that people were like, huh? Dude, it was not good. And dude, I was having such a good set before that. I was ripping it. And then it was like, Arr! People were like, huh? Dude, it sucked, man. So I was like, all right, taking that part out. Whoops. And I did something so interesting that I want to show you guys during this set. And I hope this is interesting to you guys, but to me, this is very interesting. I got this little cut on my finger last week from opening a box of LaCroix. Man shit. And I had a Band-Aid on my hand. And during the set, I felt the Band-Aid coming off. And I was like, and I had in the moment to try to figure out what to do. Because I didn't want to be like, anyways, have the Band-Aid fly off into the crowd. What's this? Oh, doink! Right into their fucking margarita. So in the moment, I took the Band-Aid off and put it in my pocket without anyone noticing in the middle of a joke. And I have the video of it. So I'm going to play the video frame by frame of what happened. Again, I hope this translates. I'm doing this all myself right now on my computer, so I hope this again makes sense. So, okay. All right, so here's what's happening. Here's me. I'm going to go frame by frame first, and then I'll do full speed. Actually, no, let me do full speed. Ready? And go.
Like, I I only brought one bag. I only have one bag. I need like a heavy leaf. I need a heavy leaf.
Okay, so full speed. Took the Band-Aid off, put it in my pocket, mid-joke, no one noticed. I'll go frame by frame, so check it out. So here we go, doing the act out. Look, you can even see me. It's on my left hand. You can even see me looking at my finger going, uh-oh, the Band-Aid's coming off. Now let's move a little forward. And then here's me deciding, all right, I think I need to take the Band-Aid off without them noticing. Let me go a few more. All right, and look, now I'm near my pocket, keeping it going. Look, you can see the Band-Aid if you look really closely coming off. It's on my index finger on my left hand. This is so stupid. I feel like I'm breaking down game footage like a basketball player. Band-Aid's coming off. Here we go, and a lot of hands. Oh, and here I start the process. You can see me now rolling the Band-Aid off my finger, still telling the joke, face away from the crowd, continuing to take the Band-Aid off, trying to take the Band-Aid off. Let's move forward here, and Band-Aid is now, hand is now in the pocket as I continue the Band-Aid taking off process. Hand fully in the pocket. Still doing the joke. Rubbing it up and down, trying to get the Band-Aid off. I'm not jerking off. I'm rubbing the Band-Aid on and off, trying to roll it off. Still telling the joke. Turn away from the crowd. Band-Aid is now fully off my finger. Put it back in my pocket to leave the Band-Aid. Finger is out of the pocket. Band-Aid's off. Continue with the joke. Boom. Done. Handled. Let me watch again full speed.
Like, I only brought one bag. I only have one bag. I need like a heavy leaf. I need a heavy leaf.
Boom. This is CSI, baby. This is CSI stand-up. Look, man, that's the podcast, and I hope you guys liked my CSI segment. Look, man, things are looking up. I'm excited about what's coming. I got some. I'm so stoked about these tour dates, man, and knowing what cities you guys are at. I think a lot of you are going to be really excited. Look for that next week, and please subscribe to the podcast. Tell people about it if you think they would like it. Even if you think they'd hate it, bro. Give me the views. We need them. Let's keep the vibe going. Submit your life advice on Instagram @WillBePodcast. And that's all I got, man. Excited to announce the tour dates. I will see you guys next week. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you later.